Everyone, this is Joe from the Business Credit Workshop. In this video, I'm going to share with you what you need to do to get approved for business funding, for business credit. The inspiration behind this video is there's so much content out there, including that I've put out and other people put out. Sometimes I feel like you may be getting like lots of emails, lots of content, and you're like, well, what do I just I just need something simple. That's right. The best thing we could do is take something complex and just simplify it. So my goal in this video is whether you're a newbie or you're experienced, no matter what industry you are in, but to give you clarity on what you need to do to get business credit approvals, business funding for your business so you can scale your business or maybe launch your business or whatever it is you're looking to do with business credit. So with that said, let's dive right in. All right, so whether you're a brand new business or you're up and running, I broke this down to 3 very simple pillars of success, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper in just a couple of moments. So what are the 3 pillars of success in getting business credit approvals and getting approved for business funding? First one is to clean it up. The second one is to boost it. And the third one is to get that bag, get that money bag, right? Let's jump into cleaning it up, right? What is cleaning it up? What does it mean to get your company compliant and lendable in such a way that banks are willing to lend to you? One of the things that you have to do first is figure out what you're doing with your address. You can use a home address with a suite, or you could also use a shared office address if it's a legitimate shared office and they have signage in the lobby. Like me, I'm in a shared office. Today I'm in my home office, right? So I have both. But you can't use a virtual address as the main business address. You can't use a UPS mailbox as the main business address. You could use it as a shipping address or like a mailing address. That's fine, if you already have one. But for the applications for your main business address, it has to be a physical address, right? And which means it can't be virtual. It has to be a physical address, which could be a home address with a suite, like Suite A, Suite B, Suite C, or whatever, or a shared office where it's actually like legitimately shared. If you come into my office, there's 3 other businesses there. I've got signage everywhere. I got the water cooler. I've been there for 10 years. There's lots of computers, lots of monitors, and all that. Right? It's a real office, right? It's not an office where you walk in and there's no paper or pens anywhere, and the banker's like, yeah, you don't work here. So those are fine, for meeting customers and stuff like that, or whatever you want to use it for. But hey, listen, I'm here to share with you how to get approved for business credit, how to get approved for business funding. So I'm going to share with you what you need to do to clean things up. So that's the first thing, is the address, okay? Next would be with your business phone number. You have to have either a landline or a real phone number, or a virtual number in this case is fine, like Freedom Voice or Grasshopper, Ring Central, even Google Voice. Those are all fine. If you use Google Voice, you have to disable the prompt. But you have to have a real phone number, separate than your cell phone. So it's okay if you have calls forwarded to your cell phone, and if you don't pick up, it goes back to the main line. But it's very important that you have a business phone number separate than your cell phone number, and you want to get that number listed on the 411 database and local directories like Google My Business. That's GMB, right? Google My Business is a good one. Yelp, Super Pages, all those online directories, so that if we Google, the banker Googles your business or your phone number, they can find your information. Next would be making sure that you're in good standing with the Secretary of State, whatever state that you're in. This is a big one. I've had clients that I work with, and they're not paying like the annual fees, or they're not doing whatever filing requirements they have, and then they're actually having trouble getting business credit cards or lines of credit. And admittedly, you can get away with skipping these steps. I mean, right? But I'm not in the game here, and I hope you're not in the game here, how to get away with stuff, because it's just going to catch up with you. And if you spend a couple of minutes, a little longer than that, right? If you spend some time getting things set up correctly, you don't have to worry about am I going to get approved? Am I going to get denied? Is the bank going to catch something or whatever? Just set it up all properly up front, and that'll help you be in good shape, right? So you want to make sure you're in good standing with the Secretary of State. You want to make sure your phone number is active, it's listed. You have your voicemail set up. At least, have state your company name or your hours of operation. If you can create your business as a more neutral entity, that would be great. You may already have created your company, so it might be a moot point at this point. But ideally, you wouldn't have a restricted industry term in your company name. So if your company is called ABC Real Estate, then the bank may have additional questions like, well, what type of real estate you do, and etc. So then you might have to explain what you do. Maybe you do asset management or property management or whatever it is, right? In a perfect world, you have a little more of a neutral name, like ABC Management would be more neutral name, more neutral line of business than something like ABC Real Estate. If you already have your company created, though, I would say just let's try to work with what you have. All right, let's talk about number 2, second pillar. So boost it, right? There's a lot of information on how to boost up your business credit score. In fact, I do a lot of videos on like using net 30 vendors to boost up your business credit score. So if you have your DUNS number already, then just go ahead and watch the video that talks about how to use net 30 vendors to boost up your business credit score and using gas cards and things like that. If you don't have your DUNS number, then you want to go get one from Dun & Bradstreet. You can get the free one. It's no problem, but you get the DUNS number and then you go ahead and boost up your business credit score. So I'll share with you that resource here. You can click the link. You can watch that video on how to boost up your business credit score. And then personal credit score. I also have a great video on how to boost up your personal credit score, your credit utilization. We look at like your oldest trade line, your highest trade line, what steps you can take to open things up within your personal credit. So that's another video that I've already done that if you need to boost up your personal credit score, you can just go ahead and watch that video, and I'll share a link so that you can just go ahead and watch that video, right? So that would be, if you need to boost your business credit or personal credit, just watch those videos and you'll be in good shape. Now, getting money. Now, the process that we do is, like I said, we work with the big national banks. Like I recently, and clients of mine have recently gotten approved with like Citi and with Chase and with some of the bigger banks and all of that. But what if you want to go beyond like the 3 or 4 or the 5 business credit cards or business lines of credit that everyone knows about, right? So again, I also have a video that goes into more detail on how to get unsecured business lines of credit and unsecured business credit cards that are no doc. So I will also share with you that resource here. But I want to talk about it a little bit in detail because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. So what you want to do is you want to look for local community banks and credit unions in your area. Usually these are banks that like no one has heard of, or maybe they have only 1 branch or 2 branches, and probably no one's even talking about them. So a couple of ways to find them would be, you could use Google, but you could also, as you're driving around, you could just write down the names of banks. I do this all the time, even today, as I'm driving around. Been doing this a long time, right? Years and years and years, and I'll write it down or I'll email the bank to myself, and when I get home, I'll interview the bank and find out what programs they offer. And you'll find some really great local community banks, credit unions that really no one's ever heard of. And they have these programs that they're not advertising, like they don't have it on their website, they don't have pamphlets, but if you call the bank, you interview them, and you find out what programs they have to offer, you'll learn about programs that are no doc, like we talked about earlier, that are unsecured, business credit cards. You'll find banks that offer their own business credit card instead of using like a third-party underwriter. You'll find banks that offer business lines of credit that are no doc, which is incredible. And the other method in addition to that would be just look up in your state what the top SBA lenders are. So Small Business Administration comes out with a list of the top lending banks in your state. Find that list and then download it or put it into a spreadsheet and just call all those banks. You know that they're the top lending banks in your state for small businesses. And about 20% of those banks, maybe 25% of them, will offer business credit cards. I'd say more than half the banks on that list you probably never heard of. And then about 5% or so of those banks will offer no doc business lines of credit. Within that one little list, like I mentioned earlier, we had a client in Minnesota, we found 29 banks that offer no doc business credit cards. It's their own business credit card. Not even including all the banks that use like the third parties, like Alon Financial or TCM or all this third party. That's a whole other list of banks that you could use. So these are good resources that you could use. Yes, it requires work. You got to go out there, you got to call the banks, you got to network with them, you got to meet with them, you got to email them, you got to follow up. That all works great to not only build relationships with local community banks, credit unions, but also to find out what programs are available. In addition to just spending 10 minutes and Googling it, go build your own database. That's what we did. We interviewed thousands and thousands of banks. We built a huge database of banks that offer these programs. So those are the 3 main pillars of success. I have a little bit more information to kind of help you out. If you want to talk to us about coaching, you will get access to all the banks that we've interviewed, the local community banks, the credit unions. We've done all the work for you. You would go to businesscreditworkshop.net/HTO. I'll include a link. You go ahead and you click get your case study now, enter in your email, click submit, and then you can watch this 10-minute video on how business credit coaching works, and you can complete your credit application right here to work with us. It's an application to apply for coaching. Then we'll chat with you, and we can talk to you if we could work together with you to help you out. So that's one thing, is if you want to talk about coaching, this would be a higher end program where we're working with you personally to help you out with getting business funding, sharing with you our list, our database of banks, and everything like that. Secondly would be our blog, which is businesscreditworkshop.me. There's a lot of good information here. We just did an article on 41 companies that will help you build up your business credit. That did really well. So it's a recent article that we wrote. We talk about some of the fintech companies like Capital on Tap or Torpago. So if you're not familiar with these, go to our blog, it's businesscreditworkshop.me, and you can check out some of these articles. Let's just say if you're kind of just starting out and you just want our straightforward 7 Secrets of Obtaining Business Credit, our e-course, which is it's under $50. You get the e-course, you get the worksheets, you get the checklist, you get a list of some of the banks that we work with. That you would just go to businesscreditworkshop.net. So just businesscreditworkshop.net. I'll include the link for that. You enter in your information, and then you'll be able to purchase our e-course as well. And then there's this cool little extra upgrade. If you want to upgrade to like the physical copy, we got this new Business Credit Workshop home study course, which is really cool, that you can get access to, and it includes the training module workbook, which is an awesome step-by-step guide, everything you need to do to get your company ready, and like what steps you want to take and areas to take notes. So we have some products and things like that. If you're interested in taking advantage of that, then those are the resources available. And lastly would just be our YouTube channel. So we have lots of free content right here on the YouTube channel that you can check out. Make sure to watch our videos and look at some of the other training material as well. So with that, I hope you learned from this process. If you have any questions, like just put them down in the comments below. If you like this video, if you learned something, then hit that thumbs up button, right? Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when the next video comes out.